When you think of the most iconic buildings on Earth, this one is probably right at the top of the list, the Taj Mahal. But there's so much more to it than just a famous romance. So let's dive into the monumental story behind this global icon.
Yeah, everyone knows it as this ultimate symbol of love. But the full story? Oh, it's far more complex. It's a tale of grief, for sure, but it's also about massive imperial ambition, deep faith, and this incredible attempt to build a literal vision of paradise right here on Earth.
So, where did it all begin? Well, the story starts with the fifth Mughal emperor, Shah Jahan, and his deep, deep love for his favorite wife, Arjamand Banu Begum, though you probably know her as Mumtaz Mahal, which means the chosen one of the palace. Then, in 1631, tragedy struck. Mumtaz Mahal died while giving birth to their 14th child. The records from the imperial court really paint a picture of his devastation. This wasn't just sadness, it was a profound grief that became the driving force behind his promise to build a mausoleum the world had never, ever seen before. And out of that very personal tragedy came an architectural project on an absolutely epic scale. You see, Shah Jahan already had a passion for building, and he channeled all of that sorrow into creating a final resting place for his wife that would be just unparalleled in its beauty and its grandeur. And they moved fast. I mean, unbelievably fast. In 1632, just a single year after Mumtaz Mahal's death, work was already starting on a plot of land right on the southern bank of the Yamuna River in Agra. Now get this, the amount of human effort involved was just staggering. This was not a small crew. We're talking about a workforce of over 20,000 people. Artisans and laborers from all over India, Persia, the Ottoman Empire. They even brought in people from Europe. And of course, a project this massive, well, it doesn't happen overnight. It took about 2 decades to finish the whole thing. The main tomb was done around 1648, but work on all the surrounding gardens and buildings kept going until 1653.
Okay, so what about the cost? We're looking at an estimated 32 million rupees at the time. To put that into perspective for you, in today's money, that's well over 800 million US dollars, a truly staggering investment for a single monument. But here's the thing. The Taj Mahal isn't just about its massive scale or its cost. It's a masterpiece of symbolism. The whole design is this incredible fusion of Indian, Persian, and Islamic styles. And trust me, every single element was planned to convey a much deeper meaning. All right, let's break down the key parts. You've got that iconic central dome, right? Then at each corner, there are 4 minarets standing guard. And get this, they actually lean slightly outwards. It's a brilliant piece of design to make sure that if there was ever an earthquake, they'd fall away from the tomb. And this obsession with perfect symmetry is everywhere. The mosque on one side is perfectly balanced by a guest house on the other, all laid out around this beautiful garden that's meant to be paradise itself. And when you look up close, the detail is just mind-blowing. The white marble is covered in these beautiful decorations using a technique called pietra dura. Basically, craftsmen would carefully carve into the marble and then inlay it with these tiny, polished, semi-precious stones to create these incredible floral patterns and calligraphy. So what does it all mean? Well, this is the really cool part. The entire layout is telling a story. Art historians believe the complex is split in 2. The red sandstone buildings outside represent the earthly, material world. Then, you pass through that grand gateway, the transition point, and you enter the garden and see the white marble mausoleum, which symbolizes the spiritual realm, Mumtaz Mahal's final home in paradise. You'd think the story ends there, right? With the final stone laid? But no, not even close. In the centuries that followed, the Taj Mahal's journey was, well, let's just say it was far from smooth. Shah Jahan himself died in 1666 while under house arrest by his own son, of all things, and was buried right next to Mumtaz. Then, as the Mughal Empire weakened, the complex fell into neglect and was even looted. It was until around 1908 that a huge restoration project was done by the British Viceroy, Lord Curzon. And finally, in 1983, it got the global recognition it deserved, becoming a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a title for places that are just invaluable to all of humanity. Okay, so a building this famous, you just know it's going to have some wild myths and legends attached to it. And boy, does it. Over the centuries, a lot of stories have popped up, some more believable than others. Let's tackle a few.
Probably the biggest one you might have heard is the myth of the Black Taj. The story goes that Shah Jahan was going to build a perfect, identical copy for himself, but in black marble, right across the river. It's a great story, but modern archaeology tells us something different. Excavations found no black marble, just some white stones that had turned black over time. And that's not all. There are these other persistent stories that Shah Jahan had the architects and craftsmen maimed so they could never build anything as beautiful again, or that a British governor was going to tear it down and sell off the marble. It's important to point out that historians have really looked into these, and there's just no concrete evidence to back any of these claims up. So, leaving the myths behind, let's talk about the threats facing the Taj Mahal right now. And these are very, very real. You've got air pollution, causing that brilliant white marble to actually turn yellow. Pollution in the Yamuna River is threatening the wooden foundations it stands on. And of course, there's the sheer pressure of over-tourism, with millions and millions of visitors every single year. All of this really leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? The Taj Mahal is this incredible gift from the past, a story of love and power set in stone. The real challenge for our time is how we ensure that this masterpiece survives for future generations. The story of the Taj Mahal is still being written, and now we're all a part of it.